guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bella, and in today's video I want to talk a topic that should college student get an iPad? Is that necessary? And why I get iPad. So I will put the time bar over here, you can see, and then without further ado, let's just get So first thing that I want, in previous videos that you might see that I unboxing an iPad Air 3. I know it's the newest iPad, but the reason that I want to buy an iPad is because my MacBook Pro is too heavy. It's too heavy that I cannot bring it to my class, and it's not like useful when I'm doing the note because it's too heavy. So I won't take it to the class. And yeah, so in other way I decided to get an iPad Air. I decided to get an iPad, but I was considering between iPad Pro and iPad Air, and then I decided to get an iPad Air because I think that iPad Pro is for the person who has the drawing needed, and then like editing needed will be using the Pro. But I already got the MacBook Pro, so all of my editing I want to be done on my computer, it's not my iPad. So I just decided that I want to get an iPad Air, and then I got it with 64 gigabytes. I remember it so. And I got a rose gold color, although I already used case to protect it. But as you can tell, the case with it is very matching, and it can be standing upright like this, and the screen is large enough that I can do a lot of things on it. And normally I will take my keyboard. This keyboard is standing with the case, so it's very useful for me because I don't have to buy another keyboard, and it's used the Bluetooth to connect in both. So I really think it's convenient to use. And then I also got an Apple Pencils because I already said that I want to use the iPad Air as my notebook. I want to replace my normal notebook because you know that if you want to take note from the class, you have to take your notebook and then like at least 2 colors of pens, and I just want to change that. And sometimes the colors of your pens will like not enough, you need more colors, and that stress me a lot of times, especially when I'm not studying like the math person that they only need is calculate instead of memorize tons of things. So I decided to get an Apple Pencil with the iPad Air 3, and as you might know that Apple Pencil 2 is only matching with the Apple iPad Pro, so I cannot get an iPad Pencil 2, although I really want that. So with the education programs, I can upgrade my program so I can get an AirPod Pro. So that is very, very nice for student because AirPod Pro is extremely expensive, especially for students. I'm pretty thankful for this program because all we know that Apple's iOS system is really I'm already used with the iOS system. So if I'm going to change my system back to Windows, it would be a lot of hard part to me. So with the iPad I can easily take notes or watching books online just with an iPad, and when I'm going to class I don't have to bring tons of books. I only need to grab my iPad and I'm good to go. And I think that the best part with the iPad is that I can use it anytime, anywhere, and to do anything. Like, so I got two most important apps to memorize my notes. I got Tablet and GoodNote, and these two it has to be pay, I remember, but it make good use from my class. I can show you with the GoodNote. Let me show you. I use GoodNote to write down my philosophy notes on it, and I can change the color as I want. So I really like this point, and and you can change a lot of like paper colors or the paper, what design of the papers that you want. Like sometimes I use Cornell to memorize something, and sometimes I use the regular line paper, and sometimes I use the blank paper to memorize things that I need. And so that is very helpful for me. So if you ask me that is the student needs the iPad to go to school, I would say perhaps. These days professors always use the PowerPoint to go to class. So if you have budget, I would recommend you to get an iPad to go to class, because you don't have to bring tons of books, and your backpack and your shoulder will thank you for that, and at least I do. So, and the other point that I think that college students should get an iPad is that if you want to study and then you happen to not to bring the book that you want to study, is as a philosophy student you have to study a lot of books, and multiple times that we don't bring those books with us, and when we have to study for the midterm exam, sometimes it just doesn't come with you that book that you need, and then you just can't do it. So with the iPad I can do an online books, and got a lot of website that I can get a free ebooks, and it helps me a lot because I personally love reading. So that's why I became a philosophy student. And then it helps me that save a lot of money to buy books, like the actual books, but it doesn't mean that I won't go to buy actual books, because I love the textures and the smell and the heavy of the real books instead of ebooks. It's just convenient, but it cannot replace the love that I have for the real books. So if you want a convenient study way, I will recommend you to get an iPad. So that's the reasons that I think that it's good for my education's environmental. So yes, this is the reason that why I get an iPad, and I think that a student should get an iPad for studying. Is that necessarily? So next questions I want to answer it is that, does it necessarily to get an iPad Air? So before I get an iPad Air, I've already compared to 3 different iPad Air, and iPad Pro. So I think that iPad Pro is for the person who already knows all of iOS systems, and they need a lot of drawing programs and tons of things like that. It's more complicated, like editing videos or doing music over the iPad. They need that. They need the function of that, and so I will recommend those people to get an iPad Pro. But if you only need the word and to typing something on the iPad, or just to recognize what your professor says, or you're just watching videos on your iPad, I will recommend you to get an iPad Air. And then that's the if you sometimes you will need it, but not most of times. I would recommend you to get an iPad because iPad is more functional, but it's not like upgrade to the high level of all the functions. But iPad Air will be useful if you want instrument functions. That would be more useful for you. If you are considering at buying an iPad, I would just say that just go buy it. You will see a lot of different of your study environmental, and those words are my opinion. So if you don't accept it, and I'm sorry. And then thanks for watching today's video and hope you enjoy. And if you do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I see you in my next video. Bye.